reading. A little more in depth than just a general, but nonetheless, trying to pick up all those Aquariuses out there on their energies. See what we get. Okay. So basically, in the current standing here, and this is more about deeper issues, deeper deeply rooted things, you know, deeper than just your, yeah, well, you'll get a sense as I go here. Your foundation card here, really, where you're at the moment, we got 25, which is love that you are different. We got this funky little, I don't know what he is, a mix of everything. Basically getting a sense that there's a lot of uniqueness within Aquarius, and I mean, that makes sense. Aquarians are really different. They have a different take on things. They have a different viewpoint, and they are a different bird. And not a lot of people are understood from that side. And I feel like Aquarians of all of the signs are probably the most misunderstood. But nonetheless, so really, you could either be in a place where you're starting to accept that about yourself, or acknowledge that, or maybe needing to accept that and acknowledge that part of you is really, you're different and unique, and you just need to love that you are that way, and accept that you are that way, and not beat against it. So loving that you're different, it's kind of what's going on with you right now. What's crossing you is number 42. Show that you care. So there seems to be a situation where you are really kind of maybe feeling caring and feeling emotional and feeling compassionate, but maybe not going outward with it. So that seems to be something that you may need to work on, is to show that outwardly. Feeling it sometimes sometimes it's just not enough. You really have to go forward with that. So showing that you care is your challenge, so you need to go outward with it. Be more compassionate to people in your circles, people around, family, friends, you know, show that you care. Not just say, and not just presume that everyone knows how you feel either. What we have in the air is protect the wild and green. Yeah, it's almost like really it would be kind of akin to some of the feminine energies, and I mean this is kind of a natural grounded deck, but the wild and green, it's almost along the lines of that uniqueness, you know, protecting that and grabbing that and being proud of that. So also not leaving nature behind. So, you know, protecting the wild and green. Yeah, I'm getting a sense that maybe that's kind of lost on some Aquarians, maybe not taking the time to not just, you know, in this deck, protecting the wild and green, it's just kind of flourishing within who you are. You know, there's the realization that you're different, and then there's the realization that I'm excited about being different, you know, and excited about it and embracing it. And that's just kind of I feel is just an expansion on that card. So it's basically kind of standing in the power of who you are in that way. Energies that are passing are interesting. It's number 50, and it symbolizes dragon in this egg, and it says you were born to create. So really this card makes me think of all of the things, the manifestation abilities to create your own future, abilities to want to do that, to look into the future and create, So if that's passing away from you, it's almost like maybe you've given up on something, or you've taken down that excitement and said to hell with it. You know, I'm done with that. I get a lot of frustration from the Aquarians. Even I did a reading here that didn't quite come to fruition through the recorder stopped. A lot of frustration, a lot of bitterness. So born to create, it's almost like the excitement to create things or feel like you have a part in it is almost lost on you, or losing, or moving away. So it's like that energy is passing off on you, and that's too bad, because that's a good energy that you need, but it can always come back. So, but anyway, so that born to create is really that manifestation and a creation process of kind of that rejuvenation of life. So it seems like that might carry some heaviness with it. So that's what's passing away in your near future. This came up in the other reading too, is surrender to the flow. 11. Yeah, this beetle on a leaf, just going with the flow. Very symbolic of the fact that there seems to be some resistance to a natural process intuitively. So you need to listen to your intuition, and not just listen to it and go, that's not, no, I'm not. You really need to listen to it and follow it, because that intuition is really the keys to getting where you want to be. As long as you figure that out for yourself. And even if you haven't, there's really hints in there, in that intuition. I mean, that's telling you where you need to be and what you need to do. So surrendering. So there's probably an instance where you're going to surrender. I mean, if the creation cycle is kind of fallen away, I can see how there's always a cycle, and it's up and down, and there's never a constant. You're never completely up, you're never completely down. It always flows and ebbs. And so when you surrender, that makes sense to being without creation, because you're going to get to that point of sadness and frustration and all of that, where you're just going to say, I don't care, whatever, I'm just going to go with it. And it's kind of at that breaking point where you start to make progress again. So that's a positive in the future. In your distant future, we have this owl at 39. See the truth. Almost like you're really blind to something, but I get a sense here that the blindness is not completely lost on you. I mean, you may be in disillusion or illusioned about something, or in denial of something, but you need to kind of look at the facts, the truth, and I feel like it's sitting there. There's just a refusal to want to deal with that. So in your near future, see the truth. It could be there for you to see, or you know, you may need a little bit of prompting to look in that direction. Aquarians are really, I think, a more deeply centered soul, and I think that they really, I mean, a lot of them, if there's issues that are needing to be dealt with, they really do know. They really have that itch to deal with it, even though they may be putting it off. So seeing the truth here, I think it's just going to be opportunities that arise where you're going to have a better way of dealing, or better entrance into these issues, and seeing them for what they really are. Along the path, we have know that you belong. Beautiful cat. And it's really, love that you are different, know that you belong. So it's really a lot about self-esteem. There's a lot of self-esteem issues I feel for these Aquarians coming up. Needing to feel secure in who they are, what they're doing, where they're going. And really that circle that they surround them with. Maybe feeling like that black sheep, not quite fitting in. But sometimes that can be completely illusion. That could be all your sense of pity or self-pity, upon your own. And when you actually engage and look from a viewpoint of being accepted, you suddenly do feel accepted and realize that it was you that was that was the black sheep all along. Nobody else was making you feel that way. It was just your thoughts imposed outwards. So knowing that you belong, so having a sense of working on your esteem in that way. Trust in the magic. We have 2 crows here. It's a black card. So I don't want to say it's black magic, but I mean, the crows look dead serious. I mean, they're just like, you know, there's magic and you know it, you know. And I think that we tend to get into ruts sometimes and think, you know, to hell with everything, you know. And when you kind of are running along in the street, skipping and you know, whistling, and then something goes bad, it throws you in the ditch. You have a tendency to say, it's all garbage. I mean, I know I've been there. And you have things going right, you feel like everything's right. You have things going wrong, you feel like everything's wrong. So just kind of having a lack of faith, I feel, is what's going on for Aquarians, and maybe having to kind of, you know, feed into that a little more, feed into the lighter side. You know, if you don't believe in magic, it can't happen for you. Then we have Know Your Power. Beautiful fiery horse here. It makes me think of doing an action. And I mean, even though the horse seems like he's kind of just in one spot, it's like he knows he's powerful and he can move at any minute. So knowing the power, you know, being aware that it's all within you. It's really lost, I think, on Aquarians at this point, is that inner feeling that you really matter and you can do anything. You know, you're feeling powerless, feeling out of control. Maybe not out of control as much as just receding because I've had enough, or frustration anyway. So know your power, know your worth, know your esteem, and all of that. It's like, you know, there has to be a constant reassurance here. So a lot of that really does have to come within your own self, because you really cannot get any of that from anyone else and have it stay. The only way you can really get it and keep it and have it stay is if it comes from your own self, you know, and that takes a lot of work. So the end result card is Nurture All That You Love. So we have a nice, beautiful white dragon, and it seems to be holding this globe, and it could symbolize anything that you want. I mean, it's almost like, you know, the looking glass that the psychics look into, and they can see anything in there. So it's almost like you're really on the precipice of a depression, and you have all that you need to overcome it. It's just a matter of seeing from a viewpoint and feeling validated in that within your own self, that you can surpass and overcome and what have you. So there's really a sense of darkness here, and almost like, I don't know that you've really been hopping and skipping and whistling down the streets for very long, you know, before you get knocked or pulled, the rug gets pulled from under you. And I think it's just that mind game that you have to get on top of, and really fight to stay on top. And the more, and maybe it's just that fight that you have to keep coming back from to get stronger in, and then eventually it just has no power over you, the frustration and the darkness, really. So for Aquarians, not so grand, but not something that can't be overcome with a little bit of work and introspection. It's just a matter of, you know, and I just had a reading for Cancers as well, as just taking the time to slow down and carry that outward. And I think Aquarians have a lot more in their field of energy to slow them down. I think they're naturally, there is a slower pace there, but not sure that the focus is in the right area, you know. Not sure the mind frame is in the right compartment to work on the esteem and all of that, and really feel that you are validated, and not outside of yourself, but within your own self, working on issues that you may have had problems with. And again, not from outside people, from your own mind, because I really, as my own person, dealing with a lot of introspection in the last year or so. There's just, you could work on it all your life and never really get on top of it. But you sure do gain power from it. So it is definitely not a waste of time at all. You grow, you absolutely grow, and you really do have to look in order to, you know, receive from this world without. So there has to be an introspection in order to get rewarded from the outside world, and that's really the thing, is we have to look at all those mirrors that are coming at us, because that's really all that life is a bunch of mirrors. And that the sooner we see that, the easier life will get. And it's like, oh, I don't like that, but guess what, I do that too, so I gotta fix that. You know, if you don't like it, how are they gonna? It's just crazy. So just listen to your intuition. Your gut, I think, is kind of leading you. I don't know that you've been following it all along in the right places. So, but as long as you do that, I think you can get out of that rut. It's just a matter of habit forming, and I think that the darkness and the poor me is habit. And I think we need to get out of that and say, you know what, it is me. And if I'm poor me, then I'm making me poor. So I got to get out of that. You know, like, you really got, it's really a mind play that you have to, you really have to jump out of. And I mean, everybody's different, everybody takes things different, everybody learns things different, and hopefully give you some insight. But basically, look for the truth coming up, because there's a lot of truth coming at you here in the, not, you know, maybe 3 to 6 months down the road. There's some stuff going to be coming right here. And, you know, the ability to swipe things away anymore should be lost on us. Should be, and is deteriorating, because I think we just, you know, things that we want to sweep under the rug is like this high. We can't get over the rug anymore. So we got to start dealing with this stuff. And it's really just going to shut down a lot of other areas in our lives until we do. And then if it's at the worst case scenario, we'll start to break down physically in a health kind of way. So we don't want to be doing that. We don't want to be going there. If your health is breaking down, you really need to look at your life. You need to look back at you and go, okay, what's going on? You know, break it right down, because it really does break down to simplistic ideas and things that, you know, all along. I mean, if someone were to tell you, you'd be like, that's too easy. Yeah, it is kind of easy to see that, but we don't, you know, necessarily want to deal with that. So anyway, that's for Aquarius. A little bit of a negative mind state that they have to get out of, and they have to realize their worth and their place in the world. And maybe that's the thing too. You just got to figure out where you fit, and you're not feeling like you're fitting anywhere. So try and find where you want to be, and then go there and do that. Be who you want to be, find out where you want to be, and go there and do that. That's it. That's really what life wants you to do, and that's really what you're here to experience, is the happiness when you go and you do that. And then you stop listening to others and start listening to your own self. So hopefully that helps some Aquarians out there. And if anybody else wants a reading, just let me know. I'll probably be delving into the spiritual side of things. I see everybody's doing general readings, so you probably could get that elsewhere. I kind of want to do something that's not done. But if you do want a general, regular tarot reading, I can pull that out. Just because, so it's basically general, spiritual, like this is the spiritual deck, and then sexual. And that's really where I'm going to sit with all these readings. I mean, I have some relationship ones that I'm having a hard time translating through them, honestly. So these are my strong points, so I'm going with that. So hopefully this helps someone in some way to figure something out, or not even do that, but just, you know, seeing the road and going, okay, yeah, this was the truth I have to look at, or this was the flow I had to surrender to, or this is what I have to embrace, you know. And it's just being aware of that, because sometimes we just go through life and we're just not aware of nothing. We're just going, and that's not where we need to be either. So Aquarians, they don't need to slow down. They just need to accept and embrace things, especially themselves, and go outward from that. That's kind of like the jewel, is accepting your own self, and going outward with that. So again, hopefully that helps someone, and if anybody else wants a reading, let me know. I'm having a hard time editing these and getting them out promptly, but if you have the patience to stick with it, I'll get them out as soon as I can. So hopefully that helps, and in the meantime, take care and be kind.